Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted Reviews with me, Freebie Wits, your host. And today we're taking a look at For the King! And if you say it any other way, you're saying it wrong. But for the sake of your ear holes, I'm going to say For the King, wrongly, just so like I said, don't blow out your ear holes. For the King, for those of you who don't know, is a roguelite sort of game where you pick a hero, pick a character, go around in this fantasy world solving quests, doing them, fighting monsters, getting loot, all that stuff before fighting the final boss. For all intents and purposes, this is a pretty simple, very generic idea. It's all turn-based, like I said, pick your heroes and do your stuff. What makes it interesting are the interwoven mechanics. Everything is based on your stats. Everything has a degree of failure and success. It's not just you either fail or you pass. It's either you fail or you fail slightly, you pass slightly, or you pass completely. There are degrees. It's not like you roll a d20 dice and either hit the enemy or you don't. Now, don't get me wrong, some weapons allow you to do this. Some have either a pass or fail state, but a lot of them have a degrees of failure and degrees of success. Now, I'm very fond of this game. The first time I played it with one of my best friends ever, and with just the two of us, we finished the game. It was wonderful. It was magnificent. I took a screenshot and everything of the end screen, and it's one of my backgrounds that cycles through every day. Mechanically speaking, you have these focus points, which I do love. Like I said, everything is determined randomly by your stats. But with focus points, you can spend them to increase the chances to 100%. So if you're afraid that you're not going to be able to do something, those focus points are a lifesaver. And there's lots of little ways that you can help each other as well. That's right, I said help. And I did mention my friend before. This is a cooperative turn-based experience game. And there are issues with that, but I'll get to that later. First of all, I want to tell you about all the cool stuff you can do as friends in this game. One of the things you can do is set up base camp. It's an actual item, and when you set up base camp, your friends can go to that camp and rest up, increase their focus points, and all that stuff together. You can help each other fight monsters, you can help each other do quests, you can share items, and here's the thing. Certain characters, certain abilities actually give you more gold if you're the one to loot that source of gold. So sometimes you just want one person to grab all the gold before sharing it with everyone else. That is the optimal play, and here's where I get into some of the flaws. Optimal play in a turn-based game. When you play single play, you can play a single character if you want, but you can also control up to 3 characters if you so choose. And in a multiplayer game where everybody plays a single character, there's not any difference between that and, single player. The only difference is who's controlling what. And as I said before, there are optimal plays. This is something I've had to struggle with myself. If I see an optimal play, I will always point it out and try to get my friends to follow it. And a lot of times they will go, oh yeah, that makes sense, I'll do it. And here's the issue. If I'm doing that, it's no longer a multiplayer game. It's just a single player game where everybody is being my puppet. And I guess there is the social aspect to it too. But like I said, in terms of experience itself, it's just a single player game with more steps at that stage. It's like playing XCOM and telling everybody you get to choose and control your own soldier. Yes, they can do that, but it's still a single player game, and that's how I feel about For the King. To enjoy the game completely with friends, you do need to go into a different mindset. I do feel that you have to roleplay to a certain degree, or at least turn off the part of your brain that tells you to play 100% optimally, because at the end of the day, someone's idea of optimal plays might be a bit different to yours. And sometimes, even if there's 100% an optimal play in front of you, your friends may not be able to see that, or they just don't care. What they do care, presumably if they're playing with you, is the fact that they get to spend time with you. So keep that in mind when you are playing games together. So For the King feels like a Dungeons and Dragons game. Less of the role playing, but it gets the same feeling across in that you are cooperatively going through a fantasy world together in a turn-based structured environment. Is it worth it, and would I recommend it to anyone? And my answer is absolutely. If you don't have time to play Dungeons and Dragons because of travel times or because of, well, the plague, For the King makes a pretty good substitute, I'd say. If all you want to do is do a dungeon run with just fights, there's a mode for that. You don't have to explore the overworld or anything like that. You can just go into a dungeon and fight stuff, get loot, share it with each other, that sort of thing. If you're not into turn-based RPGs, this won't really sell you on it. It's very cutesy, it's very fun otherwise, and I do have a problem with how much random chance has a stake in things, but because of the focus system, the focus points, it does mitigate that to the point where you can sort of predict things. So in that regard, yes, For the King is great for any RPG lovers out there. And like I mentioned before, For the King is one of those few rare roguelike games that allow you to play cooperatively with people over the internet or on couch. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I hope to see you again all next time. My name is Freebie Wits, and bye-bye.